Well, you guys, today is a very exciting day because right now I am headed to sign papers on my all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra, and I could not be more excited except for one minor detail, and that is the fact that I won't be bringing the truck home with me today. I don't even know when I'll be bringing it home because it hasn't been shipped and it hasn't even been built. It's scheduled for production early next month, but that's the state of our current economy, particularly with an all-new vehicle like the 2022 Tundra. Now, getting my name on the list is a great step forward. That has been quite a process on its own. I mentioned to you guys a while back that I contacted my local dealership and they were taking reservations, $5,000 minimum markup, and I decided I was going to hold off and see if I could do better. And it has been quite a process. In the last week and a half or so, I've contacted about 30 dealers in the Pacific Northwest. And unfortunately, the way that Toyota is doing it is they're basically just deciding what they're sending dealerships. So each dealership gets like 1 or 2 allocations in this first run of a build that has been configured by Toyota. And the dealerships don't have any ability to customize what that is. So just trying to find a package that was what I was after has been a task in itself. The second issue is that a lot of dealerships are charging huge markups, like my local dealership at $5,000 minimum. And I found a range from about $2,000 to $10,000 in markups from the various dealerships here in the Pacific Northwest. And then there are a couple dealerships, just a couple awesome dealerships that are charging no markup. The third issue that I've run into is that some dealerships aren't even willing to sell to you, which that's the first time I've ever encountered that. Some of the dealerships in Washington and California and Idaho aren't willing to sell to an out-of-state buyer, or they charge an additional markup for being an out-of-state buyer. And then even here in Oregon, there's a couple dealerships that are within a very short drive from where I live that aren't willing to sell to me because I don't live in the immediate proximity. So that has been quite a frustrating process, but I have a reservation. I'm going to sign papers right now, and that's a good first step. Now, the truck that I'm headed to buy right now is actually the second reservation that I've made this week, but it's the one that I'm actually going to buy. The first reservation I made in the midst of my frantic rush to get my name on a list. It was the build that I was after at a dealership that was willing to sell to me, but they were also going to tack on a $5,000 markup, and I've been feeling really uneasy about that all week. Not just because of the cost, but also because I feel like as consumers we need to push back on that a little bit. But because of my YouTube channel, I felt this pressure to get the Tundra as soon as possible so I can get some content up before all the other YouTubers do. And so I was going to reluctantly move forward with it. And then this morning I got a call from John telling me that he had basically the same build with additional features for less money because of no markup. Asked me if I wanted it, and that's why we're headed to meet him right now. Now, what I was after in a build was either the SR5, the Limited, or the TRD Pro model, and ideally I wanted to get the iForce Max. The iForce Max and the TRD Pro are not going to be available till March, so again, I wasn't sure that I wanted to wait a few months and miss out on that chance to get some content up on YouTube. And then also, with the pricing information that's been revealed this week, I don't even know if the iForce Max or the TRD Pro are going to be within my budget. So basically that kind of narrowed us down to either the SR5 or the Limited with just the iForce engine. That's all that's available right now. And I wanted a Crew Max configuration with the short bed. And then the must-have feature with any truck that I bought was it had to have the TRD off-road package. On top of that, I ideally wanted to get the 14-inch infotainment screen, which I think comes standard on the Limited, but is an additional feature available on the SR5. And then I also wanted to ideally get a light-colored exterior to make it more scratch-resistant, and then a dark-colored interior to make it more stain-resistant. That's a good thing to have when you've got a couple of young kids. So both trucks that I put money down on were the Limited model, a Crew Max short bed configuration. The original reservation was up in the Seattle area. That truck was silver with a black interior, which I was pretty excited about. The one down here in Oregon is Blueprint, which is basically a dark glossy blue with a black interior. So it's got the interior color that I want, not as crazy about the exterior. I do think it's a really cool looking color, but I am worried about the scratch resistance. Both trucks do have the TRD off-road package. Because they're limited, they both have the 14-inch multimedia screen. They also both have the JBL premium audio system, and then a few other similar accessories. They both have the bed liner as well as the tailgate insert. The one here in Oregon also has the panoramic sunroof, as well as wireless cell phone charger and LED lights in the bed. And then Wilsonville Toyota is also making me get the paint protection on the truck, which is an add-on cost. But even so, with the paint protection, the panoramic sunroof, wireless charging, and those LED lights in the bed, it's still coming in less expensive than the one up in Seattle because they're not charging the $5,000 markup. The other thing too is, even though I'm kind of on the fence about wanting the paint protection, because it's Blueprint, I think it's going to be a good idea to have it because it's a dark color. It's going to be easy to scratch, and living here in Oregon, scratches are bound to happen. So pretty excited about the truck. I think it's going to be a sweet build. It's got a lot of cool features. Certainly not at the level of the 1794 or the Platinum or the TRD Pro, but to me it's got everything that you really need and a lot more than that. The only thing I'm really not crazy about is I would have preferred to get a light colored exterior and have the iForce Max engine. Maybe down the road we'll swap it out for another option, but even so, I'm pretty excited about this build. Thanks for taking the time to meet me. I really appreciate it. Saved me a lot of trouble. It's a cool shirt.
Thanks. It's the 503 JSP Hawaiian Friday action. No big deal.
Yeah, go check out John on Instagram and Wilsonville Toyota. Well, papers are signed and now the waiting game begins for the 2022 Tundra. I am super excited. The production date is scheduled for December 6th, so I'll probably be getting it sometime in January. I was hoping to get a November build so I'd have it before the end of the year, but just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. The real question though is, when it gets here, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to know about the 2022 Tundra? Let me know in the comment section below. To stay up to date on the 2022 Tundra, be sure to subscribe. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.